My next guest is one of the brightest prospects in the UFC today. It is Christian Rodriguez joining me here on the program. Christian, how are you, man?
Good, James. Good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I know you've been doing a bit of traveling. We were trying to set up this interview. I know you were in Arizona, a little bit of time in Vegas. What have you been up to since your last fight as far as cross training?
I've been doing a little bit of cross training. Just I used to live in Arizona, and just getting to work down there. I really like the team over there, and they've always treated me well. So a little bit of both always helps me out.
Where did you train in Arizona? Because obviously there's a couple gyms there, Fight Ready, the Lab, obviously Tim Welsh's gym. Where did you get to train?
I did fight ready, and then I did some open mat at Soul Fighters with Tim Welch.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's
A
awesome.
little,
How did
little
that?
bit of both.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, so first and foremost, Fight Ready. Do you know someone there? How did you end up getting to work with those guys?
Yeah, I've been knowing them for a bit. That's where I used to train at before, back when I used to live there. I've been knowing Santino, Eddie Cha, Coach Allen, so I know everybody over there.
Okay, cool. And how long were you there for? How long did you get to train? Was it just this week or?
It was just 5 days.
Okay, nice, nice. And who'd you get to work with over there?
Everybody, right now, they're having more people come in. They're having Amir. I didn't get to train with him, but I know he's getting ready to fight Brandon Moreno. Corrales, the Natividad brothers. So and Brandon Olivas. That's one of my closest friends.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's good. So a little bit of training there, and then Tim Welsh is there. What's the connection there? How do you know Tim and then that team over there?
I don't know them. It was just Sunday open mat jiu-jitsu.
Oh, so you just showed up, and they must have known who you were, though, obviously, because you're. Well, I mean, I know not now, but you were in the bantamweight division, same division as O'Malley, right?
Yeah, yeah. I talked to Tim for a bit, and Tim was very, very nice. That was my first time meeting him. Because one of my friend Brandon Olivas, he has a friend that trains there at
Oh, cool.
Soul Fighter, so that's how we got there.
Got hooked up. Yeah, then I completely agree. Tim is one of the nicest guys in the industry, and now a champion coach. That's pretty cool too. So must have been nice to get some knowledge from a guy that's trained a UFC champion, right?
Yeah, it was a good experience, very, very good experience, and I had a nice conversation with him. That was my first time meeting him, and it's cool seeing how nice these coaches are.
Some fighters I know like doing cross training when they don't have a fight booked because it's you can kind of take your time. You can kind of you're not training for something specific. Do you prefer that, or do you plan on implementing cross training like when you have a fight booked as well?
Um, I've just been getting into the cross training just recently, and I'm starting to like it. Especially when I don't have a fight coming up, I can just kind of get some work with other people, learn moves from different coaches, different perspectives, and that's something I do want to kind of get into, even when I do have a fight.
Okay.
But I kind of have to figure it out how I'm gonna go with my coaches and teammates and stuff. So it's stuff I'm trying to figure out right now.
And you're back in Milwaukee now, right? Am I assuming?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Figured as much. Let's talk about your last fight, man. I know there was the weight miss, but I mean, aside from that, incredible performance over Cameron Saaiman, another really tough prospect in the weight class. Just your overall thoughts on the performance. I feel like that was kind of another statement win for you in that division.
Yeah, it was a super tough fight. I knew Cameron's a really good kickboxer, and well, my how I started was kickboxing, so I never really got to showcase my striking until my last fight. But yeah, it was an exciting fight, super back and forth. It was one of those fights that really got to showcase my true skill set. Of course, I think the weight miss puts a big margin on my performance, and I'm very hard on myself. So like for me, it just feels like I'm not really giving myself credit for the win.
Like you can't enjoy it as much, right? Because you feel like that
Yeah.
was one thing that,
Hmm.
yeah, you wish you would have sort of hit the mark there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's understandable. But again, good opponent, good win there as well. And then obviously the fight before that, got to mention that because that's a fight where maybe people who didn't know you sort of on the surface really got to know you in that fight. That win over Raul Rosas. I got to ask, like after getting that win, did life change at all? Because like I feel like that's a fight that got so much attention because everyone was talking about Raul being this undefeated guy going to fight for a title eventually, and you helped the hype train. What was that like getting all that attention after the victory?
It's crazy, super crazy. It's something I wasn't used to. I The way I grew up was like I don't really have. It was just me and my family. I don't really have too much friends growing up. So it's very very different walking around and then having people come up to me and be like, "Hey, really good fight," and so the support feels really good. I liked it.
Did you get the other side of it where I'm sure they had a lot of fans of Raul and maybe people who bet on him and maybe were kind of being haters? Did you get that side of it too?
Yeah, I got a little bit of both, but then I got a lot of people also saying like, "Hey, we bet it on you, really good fight." And I feel with MMA media, with not the media, but like the MMA fans, it's always back and forth.
Oh, big time. It's like what, it's so like, hey, you're the best ever. And it's like, man, you cost me on my parlay. Like those types of fans, fair weather fans, right? Like they're not, they don't, ride or die, so to speak, right? Which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, and that's how I felt for Raul too. I feel bad for him too, just because it's I was watching seeing the comments, and it was like kind of annoying seeing all those people kind of bash on him just for one loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not good. By the way, if someone bets on you and they win and they show you your slip, I think they should pay for a steak dinner, don't you think? For
I
you.
think so too.
I think that should be like a rule from now on. Like if you're going to send the bet slip and talk about how, you put money on them, you did your part, right? Because you never get credit for the win. I mean, yes, they'll send you maybe the bet slip, but like if you lose, they're usually the first one to give you crap. And it's like, look, like I didn't ask you to bet on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what the fans don't realize too, it's like, okay, you lost $500, well, we lost like $12,000 or $15,000 on her
And your career, like it's
check.
that would be like
Yeah,
going into work and having a bad performance and like almost getting fired. You know what I mean? Like that's the equivalent of what that would be. And it
yeah.
just so
People don't
happens the
realize
whole
that. I'm like, we only get paid once. If we only get one check if we win or
yeah,
lose.
for sure. Have you spoken to Raul since the fight? I know obviously there was a lot of, like I said, hype behind him and stuff, but it seemed like after the loss, he kind of took it on the chin and sort of moved forward. Did you guys ever speak after the fight?
Yeah, we're always talking to each other on social media. I got pretty cool with his dad too. We're always being supportive to each other, and they're a great family. They messaged me after the fight. They were like, "Hey, congrats on the win." It's like, we're happy that it was you. So you're a very nice, humble guy. So they weren't. We always talked about training with each other too. I plan on going to Vegas next week, so I'm going to message him, see if he wants to get some work in. Because
Nice.
they've always messaged me. They're like, "Hey, whenever you're in Vegas, you're more than welcome to train with us."
That's awesome. See, that's one of the cool parts of MMA that I wish fans would give more attention to. Like there is that respect. You fight someone and then, hey, we can train together. We can, try and help each other get better. I always think that side of the fighting game is pretty cool, right? It doesn't always have to be, I hate you and we're moving on, right?
No, yeah. I mean, even though he like kind of went on social media and like people don't like what he says, but the kid's young. He has so much to learn, so much room for improvement. So I'm happy. I'm excited to see where he'll be in like the next 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing. People forget how young he is. But let's get back to you, man. You talked about the weight miss. So it's my understanding your next fight will be at featherweight. Is that kind of the plan right now, or do you see a future at bantamweight?
Yeah, my next fight will definitely be at featherweight.
Okay. Now, was that
Yeah.
a decision that you made, or the UFC kind of said, "Hey, you got to move up," or like what brought you to that decision to go to 145?
Um, UFC never told us we had to move up, but it was just more like, okay, let's kind of figure this out. It's like, so me and my team talk. I'm like, okay, the next fight definitely will be at featherweight. I know the UFC was very upset about it, and I don't blame them. But that was kind of me and my team's decision.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything different with the fact that you would be fighting in a new weight class? Do you do more like strength training? Like, how does that work? Or is it just, hey, I'm just too big for 35. We'll just keep things how they are, and I don't have to worry as much about the weight cut.
Doing more strength training. I'm doing training conditioning even in my off camp, so it's something that I do want to work on. But in the future, hopefully, not hopefully, but in the future, I do see myself going back down to bantamweight.
Okay, so this is just temporary for now. See how it goes, and then maybe come back down to 35. Do you have anyone that works on you with your weight cut? Like, do you have someone like giving you meals or doing like you get like the weight cut guys? Do you have anyone like that, or are you just doing it yourself?
Yeah, I just started. I used to do it myself always. I used to always do it by myself. But I just started working with Ian Larios.
Oh, nice. Oh, one of the best in the business. Okay, so
Yeah,
you're in good hands.
so I just
That's
started
good.
working with him. Yeah, so we kind of made a game plan on the next fight, and now we're seeing long term game plan too. And so not just for this fight, more like for the next year.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. When would you like to fight? You mentioned going to Vegas on Friday. I'm assuming for Anthony Pettis' karate combat fight. I'm sure that's where
Yeah,
you're
I'm
going, right?
excited for that fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would like to fight on the March 9 card.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the both guys, Cheeto Vera and Sean O'Malley. So I would hopefully would want to be able to get on that card.
Any opponents in mind at 145? I mean, you are coming off a win, so you got a little bit of leverage here. Is there any, like, not calling anyone out, but is there any like matchups at 45 that you think, man, that would be a fun fight?
Yeah, I like Chepe Mariscal.
Mariscal. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like that fight. He's a tough striker. Tough. He's very tough. So I think that'll be like a very exciting fight, especially if it's in the Miami card, like with the crowd going. So hopefully that fight can happen one day.
Was Chepe a guy that you had your eye on the regional scene too? Because I know he's been a guy that has fought there for a while and then just got to the UFC recently.
No, I've never had my eyes on him. This is just more in the recently the last two fights. I'm like, damn, this guy's good.
And I guess too, because he's a different weight. Yeah, he's at 145 as well. So you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have thought of him. You were looking more at the bantamweight class. So that kind of makes sense there as well. And so I guess, kind of just waiting to hear from the UFC now as far as the next matchup. But do you get to enjoy the holidays at all? Like, you doing anything for the holidays?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing yet for Christmas. Just probably just spend time with my family because that's what I usually do for all holidays. Just get together with my family and then. But now I don't have to kind of like stress about it either. About like seeing where maybe my weight's at or something like that. It's a little more like it's more stress off my shoulders.
Right. Yeah. Without the fact that, let's say they give you a fight, it's not like it's not like a big thing to try and cut down to 135 because you'll be at 45 now. Plus, you got Ian Larios you get to work with too. So I'm sure he'd be in the loop and come up with a game plan for you, which is one less stress you have, right?
Yeah, and the thing with 35 too, it's like something that I have to do very strict
Strategically.
and super strict on what I do every single day, every single weekend, which is normal, but it's uh it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And would this be back in Milwaukee or would you go to Arizona for Christmas?
Uh, all my family's in Milwaukee.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, all
Okay.
my family's
Makes
in
sense.
Milwaukee.
Okay. So yeah, stay at home base, which would be good there. You mentioned taking some time off for the holidays. Are you like big into Christmas? Do you watch the movies and stuff? Or are you more just like, hey, I'm going to spend time with my family? Like, do you have any sort of yearly things you do? Your annual things, I should say?
I'm more spending time with my family. I'm very bad at watching TV shows and movies. I don't watch TV, so
None at all. You don't watch any TV?
no, I don't know why. I
But
used to.
other than fights, I guess, right? You watch fights, don't you?
Yeah, just fights. I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time just sitting down and like
I hear you, man.
watching a
It's
movie. I'm like, I need to do something. I need
yeah,
to
got to
walk
be
around or do
productive.
something. Yeah.
What about your plans for next year? Like, I don't know. I hate using the word like goals and stuff, but do you have an idea of what you want your 2024 to look like? Whether that's, a certain amount of fights or like, do you have any plans for next year that you sort of thought about as we're coming up to the end of this year?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot ever since my last fight. I've been very unhappy with the way. I mean, obviously, I won my last two fights, but I've been very unhappy about how my career's going. So my birthday's in a couple weeks,
Oh, is it
and
really? Mine is too. What's your birthday?
the 17th.
Oh, mine the 31st. So
Oh, is it? Yeah, we're
yeah.
close.
Yeah, good time of year. People think I don't know. I've always been told, oh, you get ripped off because it's close to Christmas. It's the opposite. If I don't get something for Christmas, I usually get it on my birthday.
On
So
your birthday,
that's
right? Yeah.
yeah,
So it's not
that's
too
how I
bad. I
look at
like
it.
it.
Yeah.
But I told myself once I turn 26, I'm gonna kind of turn around my life and just give everything I have to this sport. I feel I've been giving a lot to this sport, but I feel like I can give more. And that's
Okay.
been one of my goals for next year to fight also 3 to 4 times next year.
Okay. Why? Let me ask you though, because you said that you haven't been happy with how things have gone. Is it the amount of fights? Like, what specifically have you not been happy about leading up to this point? Because man, you got two big wins, and I know one of them you missed weight, but still, like as far as the resume goes, it's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I want to be more active. I want to be more active, and I want to start. I mean, obviously with the weight, and I think that would be a good start because I mean the whole weight kind of makes the fans not really give me credit to my performance, and that's one of the things that's been bothering me. It's like last fight, maybe it could have been like a performance, a really good performance, maybe a performance bonus, and that's things that I think about. It's like okay, maybe if I made the weight, they would have given me a bonus, and that's things I think about.
Absolutely. Okay. I see what you're saying there. So keep
Mm.
active. Make sure the weight's good, and yeah, I guess just kind of keep this train going. But I mean, you're still young, right? So I mean, there's lots of time to figure all this out, right? And I mean, again, there's a lot of people your age who aren't doing what you're doing either, right? I'm sure you have to kind of sit back and say that to yourself, where it's like, wow, like I'm in the UFC. Like some fighters, it takes them forever to get to the UFC, and here you are, you're already a couple fights in and looking impressive, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think I'm just very hard on myself, so that's probably why I don't really. I'm always looking for perfection, but I know perfection is hard. But my coach always says, if you aim for the stars, you'll land on the moon.
Absolutely. And doing good interviews too, Christian. Really appreciate it, man. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to my management team, Anthony Perez and the whole Showtime group. They've been really helping me dictate my career, pave the right way, and they've been helping me out financially, which from where I came from, it's been a really big blessing.